All right, Sheikh. So tell us a little bit about what you're working on these days.
Well, this is good. Thank you for asking. So, well, what I'm working on now is really a project to try to change some of the thinking of Muslims in America, or the way that we think about being Muslims in America.
Okay.
Okay, for the last 2 or 3 years before leaving America, I'd gone back to America and then came here to Egypt. You know, I was discussing with some of my friends, and my brother-in-law in particular, and we just said, what are we doing? Talking about Muslims in America, where are we going?
Sure.
What is our mission? And so we would start asking. And we asked even the imams in the community. And I remember one time, my brother-in-law asked one of the imams there, he said, Sheikh, what is our mission? And he kind of was dead silent and said, I don't know. And I dare say that if Muslims in America would ask other Muslims, do we have a collective mission? I think you first you probably get this stare, and then typically what you get from my experience is people start telling you what is our purpose in life. We're just different. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, for His worship.
Right.
That's different from what is our mission as Muslims, in a particular society. Why are we at a particular place? So that's what I'm involved in now. I'm trying to get that started, to try to get us to think. One, to find out, it's ask the question, do we have a mission? Do we need a mission? And if the answer comes back to me that yes, we should have a collective mission, is then I formulated some thoughts about the mission. It's on a website that we have, inshallah. We can point to that later in the description. But to talk about what I just out of my head, what I think should be the mission. And one of the things is that we mostly now in America, and I don't think this was in the beginning though, as the early Muslims in America when it was mostly converts and African Americans. I think and I don't want to get off this subject because I think this is related. In the early 60s and 70s, when there were a lot of African Americans coming to Islam, we were thinking we need to change America. We have the answer here.
Right.
America, Islam offers an alternative. But I think that kind of got a little overshadowed and co-opted in some cases when all the other people came. And this is not to blame anyone necessarily, but it's just to say this is an observation on my part of what actually happened. And I think a lot of assimilation. So a lot of it came to be, just like, just can't we get along with everybody? And not that we don't want to get along with everybody, but if we look at the early Muslims, they went into non-Muslim society with a specific agenda. You understand what I'm saying? And it wasn't just to go get jobs.
Right.
I mean, yes, they were entrepreneurs and they were traders and all of that, but they were thinking about, hey, this place needs to be under the banner of Islam. You understand? And that changes the way in which you operate.
Right.
So this is what we're doing now. This is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to get other people to, if they think that this is a valid mission, if you will, a valid project, to join me, to help to formulate this and to kind of put it out there. And hopefully, inshallah, that the leaders in our communities will grab hold of it and begin to, to present this idea, so that we change the mindset, and we don't just become happy to be in America, and that we're chasing the American dream, and that we want the house with the picket fence and 2.5 children and a dog. I mean, come on, this is because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But because we see now that many of the Muslims are being sucked in, with the whole idea of the American construct, and this is not good, Sheikh. This is not good, because if you listen to some about and who I'm concerned about, I'm concerned about our children. I'm concerned about the younger ones, and the future. And I'll just share this with you. What really brought this home to me was a hadith of the Messenger of Allah. So it's kind of a long hadith, but I'll just kind of summarize it. But the Prophet ﷺ talked about, he made this metaphor of believers and disbelievers being on a ship. The disbelievers being at the bottom of the ship, the believers at the top of the ship. And the disbelievers would go up to the top and, say, well, we want some water, but we don't want to bother you. So we'll just put holes in the bottom of the ship and we'll get our water this way.
Right.
And the Prophet said, if you leave them to that, everybody will drown. So What are the holes in the ship? Capitalism. You know what I mean? Consumerism. All of these isms, feminism, all of these isms and these other things, these are holes that are sinking the ship that's called America. This is what I believe. And so here's what I want people to understand is that one, look at that hadith, look at that metaphor and say, yeah, does that fit us? Because here's the reality. We know how America was founded. It was founded on what? Genocide and slavery and come on. So can it stand on falsehood? Can it stand? No, it can't stand. Empires don't last. First of all, we know the Roman Empire, it failed. This empire is also going out. But should we go out with it? And I'm not trying to scare people, say, oh, now like the ship is actually sinking. No, but we drown in terms of thinking that shouldn't we have. So all I'm saying to people is that if you can understand this metaphor, if you think this applies to America, then we have three options. Number one, we have to stop the people that are putting, holes in the ship. We have to say, look, you're putting holes in the ship. This unbridled capitalism, this consumerism, this greed, this avarice, this taking advantage of the weak, and all of these things are putting holes in the ship, man. You're sinking your ship. So we have to call them away from that in clear and no uncertain terms and say that Islam will save you. Let us do that. Or what we have to do is jump ship. So we got to get off the ship. I mean, I'm for getting off the ship. For those that can help to pull the people from making holes in the ship, do that. Not everybody's capable of doing that.
Right.
But if you're able to get off the ship, then get off the ship. And believe me, this is a big discussion here because unfortunately, many American Muslims have accepted a colonizer's mindset that America is the best place on the earth to be. I challenge that thinking anytime with anybody. I'll have that debate with any Muslim on that. I heard one sheikh say that. He was a sheikh, and I love him for the sake of Allah. But I would sit right here one-to-one and say, okay, let's go. Because on one hand, he would say, America is going down. Well, I'm like, sheikh, at the same time, you can't say. You understand? But why? Because we kind of bought into that this carrot is here. And if I chase after it just a little bit longer, I'm going to be able to grab it. It doesn't work that way. What's the other option? So the other option is just to go down with the ship. Well, that's not a good option. What I say is this. We may not be able to save the ship from sinking. Hold on, no space. But when we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment and we get asked about it, I would like for us at least to be able to say, Ya Allah, we tried to save the ship. You getting my point?
Get your point, Sheikh.
I rest my case.
At MakeHijrah.com, we're dedicated to helping Muslims like you make the move to the Muslim world with ease. Our latest project is the Hijra Readiness Assessment Test, a short, insightful survey designed to help you identify your strengths and areas for improvement on your Hijra journey. Visit HijrahTest.com now and start your journey towards a successful Hijra, inshallah.